So here's the one about emails. So follow-up emails after a call. This is one of those where you really have to consider the recipient of an email, and you really have to take into consideration that emails don't really give across tone. They don't have body language behind them. So they're going to be perceived based on the words that you put down on that email. So it's just quite simply be careful what you put down and mean what you put down. But put it down in such a way that it makes sense too. So emails, there are different types of emails, so I wasn't 100% sure which sort of emails we wanted. I've just said follow-up, so I'll talk about that one first. Follow-up emails. If you've agreed something on the phone, just keep it short and simple, to the point, and based on what you agreed on the phone. If it's about having an appointment, a follow-up to an agreed appointment, then I would always say leave something at the end of that email that makes them think, okay, this is going to be worthwhile. So I'm looking forward to this meeting. So for example, you may put at the end, there's some new technologies coming through in the next week or so. I'll be really keen to also share those with you too when we meet. So something that just gives them a little bit more interest to say, okay, there might be something more in this as well. You never know, because they may have heard something from somebody else. You don't know how many other people they're speaking to. Hopefully you've qualified that, or you will qualify it when you see them. So it's just about making sure that you're honest, you've got stuff there to talk to them about. Don't put a hook in at the end of the email if you don't actually have something. So make it real. You could say, if you haven't got anything new, you could always say, oh, and there was something else that I've had some thought about since our phone call, and I'd really like to share that with you too. You say, really excited to speak a little bit more about what you said on the phone, and I've put some thoughts around it, and I think you're going to like what I've got. So anything like that that just makes them think, yeah, actually, I should look forward to this. Okay, emails, if you're emailing people for the first time, so to introduce yourself. Now, introductory emails are quite different. And I always say again, it really does depend on what people like. Some people like short and sharp to the point, don't like too much waffle and too much information on the body of the email. Some people don't like it when it's not personal to them. Some people prefer a little bit of an acknowledgement of the fact that they're a human being. So something like, how are you? I hope you're well, is always nice. And that's just based on the different personality types that there are out there. I mean, there's 4 key categories of personality, arguably, but lots of different mixes of people within that. So, I mean, for me personally, I kind of like it short and to the point, but I know a lot of people who prefer a little bit more detail. So where do you go with it? It's easy, just stick to the middle ground. Just put down why you are emailing them. I always say, forgive the direct email, but I really wanted to introduce myself because I believe I couldn't get through on the phone to you, or you weren't available when I phoned. So I make it clear to them that I have tried. I have actually tried to phone them too, and then I'll put down, look, I really want to speak to you about sales training in my case, and I'll also say, but I appreciate the timing may not be right now. So I guess my call and now my email is just to understand where you might be on this subject. And then make it easy for them to reply. Sometimes people read these things and they just go, oh, yeah, I'm not interested right now, and they just don't reply. But then if you say to them, if you let me know, then I can manage my time in terms of my contact or level of contact with you. Something along those lines always helped me. So just a few thoughts. Those are my thoughts. Those are the things that work for me. Hopefully they'll work for you too. I'll speak to you soon.